Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Always happy to have you here. Um, going to make this as quick as possible. I just wanted to finish up where we left off last week. It's just a matter of 10 minutes maximum, still on security. And this part, I think, would be most pertinent to us in this space. Um, how you handle your cell phone usage. Uh, I was going to ask for a show of hands, right? Of whose family and friends will be shocked if they had access to what you have on your phone. And I can almost imagine that everybody hands here would go up. Um, we do crazy things on our phones, right? Because it's such a personal device. We keep it very close to us. And we think that everything that we have in it is just for most of the things that we have in it is for our eyes only. And it should be that way. But we, on the flip side of that, we tend to do some silly things with our phones outside of the crazy things. Like we see a free Wi-Fi and immediately we connect to that free Wi-Fi because it's free. And in the Caribbean, we tend to have to pay for data for everything, right? But it's a terrible idea to jump on any and every free Wi-Fi network that you see. Because a lot of times when you start sharing stuff across that network, that information or whatever you send in between yourself and others can be viewed. So be aware of the networks that you can connect to. And if you have to connect to a free network, be careful about what information you're sending across those networks. I know WhatsApp, for one thing, is encrypted end to end. Right. So once you get on, you're pretty okay with the information that you send. WhatsApp. I don't particularly trust WhatsApp because of who owns it. It's owned by Facebook, and then Facebook tend to thrive on data, the collection of data. And a platform as powerful as WhatsApp, I cannot understand up to today why it's free. Right? It must means that they're collecting some sort of information at some point in time. So be careful about what you send across. In no banking, no financial services on a free Wi-Fi network. No medical usage on a free Wi-Fi network. I tend to use applications like Signal, which I trust a bit more because they're mostly open source, meaning they're not managed by one singular corporation. As a group of people come together to ensure that the standards are met and kept. Two, if your phone is running out of power, do not just plug your phone into any outlet that you see using just your cable. If you have the power module that goes with that cable, you plug it into the power, then you plug that into an outlet, fine. But don't just go straight from your USB to the phone into an outlet. That's a surefire way for somebody to connect to your device and steal your data directly. You don't want to do that. Again, some of you, you're not carrying trade secrets. You're not carrying highly sensitive information that would affect the outcome of country. But the stuff that we have on our phones is ours, and we like to keep that personal because if it gets out, it may cause an embarrassment. And you avoid that embarrassment if somebody ransoms you and say, listen, if you don't do this particular thing, then we'll release this information. I think I told you guys the story where they hacked our machines and they were like, okay, we're going to dump all your information on the internet. I was quite happy to say, go right ahead because I don't have anything there that is of value or that is damaging to me. So please, two things that I've just mentioned. Be very, very, very careful about the free Wi-Fi connections that you make. If I'm in the airport and there's a free Wi-Fi in the airport, I try to ensure that is the one that is connected to either the airport services or the airline services. And still, if I jump on that, trust me, it's only for sending WhatsApp messaging. I am maybe I log on to a website and browse that website. Other than that, I am not sending any sort of information over that network. None. If possible, when you're traveling and you know you're going to need your phone to be charged, if you could buy one of those portable charging devices, those are often safer to have. They don't cost a whole lot of money, and it keeps you a bit more secure than trying to plug into any outlet that you see. Throughout New York City, we have a lot of these booths where you could just go and plug your phone in and charge it up. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Right? Throughout the city again, like where I live in, I don't even have to go out and buy it. Like, there's free Wi-Fi throughout the entire space. Like I just New York City Wi-Fi, I can connect to it, but I wouldn't. It's just what we call honeypots, is where you can actually get infiltrated pretty easily. And the Caribbean, as it is, as we are now evolving, we don't quite have policies in place that says if you're setting up Wi-Fi, if you're setting up free Wi-Fi, here are the regulations that you must follow. Here are the cybersecurity regulations that you have to follow. So people, we're just doing anything. And we're so happy to jump on a free Wi-Fi because we don't want to have to pay for data. But be very careful about it. If you actually have a Wi-Fi network in your house or in your business, and you have, like, I know whether you have a hair salon, whether you have spots, you want to be convenient, you want to offer your customers free Wi-Fi. Make sure you set up two of those networks. One for the business itself to operate on, and one for your guests. Separate. Most Wi-Fi routers that you buy these days can do that. It can create two different things. One SSID, which is what you see, and you say, what do I want to connect to, this network or the other network? One, as I said, one for your guests who come in, one for your business. And you could set up multiple of those, like even my house. Like my television is on a separate network from the network that from the PC that I'm working on. In my apartment, I don't have guests per se. But the television is a permanent staple in the house. But that is on a separate network. My son's computer is on a separate network. His game is on a separate network. The PC that I'm working on is by itself. It's isolated. It's not impossible to get to it. It's just more difficult to get to it. And as we discussed last week, people who want to get into your system, people who want to infiltrate your system, they look for the low-hanging fruits. Do not make yourself a low-hanging fruit. Do not make yourself the easy target. Avoid public Wi-Fi's if you can. And if you can't, use it for the bare minimum. Send in message via WhatsApp, send in messages via Signal or the other one name that I use now. But SMS, avoid it. If it's a private message and you send an SMS, avoid that. Everyone, install SMS, install WhatsApp or Signal, any one of those things. Use those instead of SMS if you're using a public Wi-Fi network. All right, that is my 2 cents. I have significantly more, but this is a pretty big topic that could take us. I could spend another month talking you through how you protect yourself. But those are the basics. Those are the fundamentals. This is how you protect yourself. And as the Caribbean become more and more e-commerce aware and e-commerce involved, you're going to find yourself becoming more vulnerable to a lot of attacks. You have learned the fundamentals, right? Put them in practice.
Questions that I get asked a lot in security assessments is, does your company have an emergency plan? What happens when things go bad and how is it handled? And oftentimes we don't think about this particular need until you're in the belly of it all, you know. So security is a really big problem nowadays, and I've seen where even here in Jamaica, one of my biggest customers, the National Commercial Bank, has shut down their text message notification system because people are phishing on the sender ID. So people will send messages saying it's coming from National Commercial Bank with pushing fraudulent information. They have to be having national campaigns about not clicking on links from NCBE in any message. So they have developed protocols and policies around how they communicate to their customers, and their standard thing is that we don't include links in messages. So once they get a message with a link, it is not us. And I had a client as well, a financial institution, where somebody hacked into the SMS system, sent out a message to about 30,000 persons, telling them to collect refunds on the National Housing Trust refund scheme. And it was a fraudulent link again, we ended up being audited by a major security company, and our entity was not found to be in breach. But these things are becoming more rampant, guys. What you will also find, and this is important for e-commerce, what you will find is that e-commerce websites gets hacked a lot more than every other type of website. And it's something I have to be mindful of, especially websites that do donation type systems. Why? Because any type of payment solution that allows you to enter an amount for payment. Unlike when you're shopping from Amazon and you say, this shirt costs $30, and you add to cart and check out. It's different from a donation system where someone can put in, I want to donate $100 and write in that amount, versus I want to donate $1,000 and write in that amount, versus someone who wants to donate $10,000 and write in that amount. So because of the ease to extract greater value with this type of system, they are attacked a lot more. I got to the point where one politician who did a website for, their website was attacked so much that we had to just shut it down. We had to just shut it down. Every week it was under siege, constant, every week, So I say all this to say, guys, that e-commerce has its pros, but this is one of the cons that come with e-commerce, the nature of how persons attack it from a virus, from a malware, from a phishing, from just setting up devices or injecting code into websites that capture sensitive information from transactions, from customer data. And even now here in Jamaica, they're implementing the Privacy and Protection Act. And this is something that I know is being implemented globally. GDPR is one of those from Europe, and this standard has been consistently been implemented right across the board. So these are things that, guys, we have to be mindful of. We have to understand what happens when we communicate. So when we collect customers' data as part of transactions, what we're allowed to do with it, and how we need to get consent from customers whenever we collect their information. Oftentimes, there's always this little checkbox that says, I agree to these terms and conditions. Make sure, so if you're sending people in promotions, you put that in that fine print in that section. That you agree to receive promotions via text, WhatsApp, email, blah, 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 all different channels that you will use to communicate with them. And because if you don't do that, then you will not indemnify yourself from any wrongdoing if the customer decides that they want to take action against you for contacting them or using their information in a fraudulent way. Keep in mind as well that if their information will be shared with third-party operators or third-party personnel within your business, it needs to be clearly outlined in those terms and conditions so that you can protect yourself against it. E-commerce right now is becoming the automatic go-to for doing business. I've seen where even here in Jamaica, they just increased the duty a lot, the no duty allotment from $50 to $100. What this means is that you can purchase something abroad, and once it falls under 100 USD, you don't pay any duty on it. With this increase, a lot more persons are going to be shopping online, and we have to be aware of what we do when we do it and how we implement all these strategies around selling online. So we have to be very clear with ourselves and with our customers about what it really takes to do business with you online. All right. All right, let me share my screen. I'm having a bit of the flu this week, so I may sound a little bit nasal. So just excuse my nasal sound if I do come across that way. Right. So I'm sharing my screen. We're in module 6, and we have 3 more weeks to go, guys. I figure Philip may have mentioned this earlier. We have 3 more weeks to go, 3 more modules to cover. And we intend to cover all of that within the time frame, right? Today's module is not a very long module, so we may finish ahead of time, which opens the door for quite a bit of conversation. But today we talk about scaling your e-commerce business with automation. Now, this is where e-commerce provides its greatest value. When you get to the point of automation, so you have figured out your business strategy. You would have put together your technologies, you'd have launched your campaigns, and you'd have resourced your business with the necessary people, systems, monies, and anything that is needed to operate in a seamless manner. But now you want to get to a point where you're being efficient. You want to know, instead of somebody manually going in and doing something, you want to be able to automate it. You want it to be able to welcome somebody automatically whenever you get a new customer. You want to be able to tell a customer they left an item in their cart, get it now before it goes. You want to be able to reach out to a customer after they have purchased from you and say, hey, thanks for your business. Did you have a pleasant experience with us? If yes, then get them to leave a review on Google for you. And Google reviews are very powerful. I believe that it's the best review system that somebody can invest in. Because you can do reviews on your products, you can do reviews on your social media. But when you have good Google reviews, you rank better in Google searches. So that's a very powerful thing to play with, But at the end of the day, guys, automation is what makes you go to bed at night and wake up with sales in the morning. Automation is what makes the CEO get more time for themselves, allows the CEO to be a CEO and not a worker in their business, allows the CEO to thrive and even explore other ventures because of the time that you would have gained from implementing automated solutions. At the end of the day, guys, when you get into e-commerce, one of the things that you want to do is you want to get to a point where you come in, you check your orders, you check that, and maybe you spend on 2 to 4 hours per day on your business as opposed to 12 to 16 hours, per day on your business. So automation is very important. It's also one of the hot topics I realize that persons are curious about that really don't understand. So we're going to get into it today, talking about some of these automated solutions, all right? So the topics that we'll cover are marketing automation, centralizing operations, automating key processes, and customer relationship management. All right? Let's start off with marketing automation. So marketing automation refers to software platforms and technologies designed for marketing departments and organizations to more effectively market on multiple channels online and automate repetitive tasks. So when you think about marketing automation, guys, marketing automation is really a systematic way or a programmatic way of engaging your customers. With marketing automation, you can use your Facebook advertising manager, your Google advertising manager, your YouTube advertising manager to schedule campaigns, leave them, let them run. And then when leads are generated, they automatically are sent into a CRM type of solution where a sales rep can pick up the phone and call them automatically. And then once the sales rep mark them as qualified, then an entire different host of activities can happen. Whether it is sending the customer more information via email, whether it is triggering a contract automatically. This is where everybody wants to get to, where e-commerce sales is concerned. You want to get to the point where you have automated majority of your repetitive tasks and only have your team members focus on tasks that cannot be automated, right? So that's what marketing automation really focuses on. One of the things to also understand here is that you want to be able to automate your customer journey. We've spoken about lead generation earlier, about generating leads through the website. Ideally, what you want to do is to automate that journey. So customer signs up to be a part of your mailing list, automatically send them information until they buy. All right, so them buy, automatically prompt them to buy again with either sending them other informations about other products or offering them discounts and coupons to buy the same thing again. And then you're looking at, all right, how do I get this person to start advocating for me? I may share a referral link with them and hey, you get 20% off for every new person who you refer who buys from us. How do you get that person to continue to shop with you? You may automatically send them campaigns about the reward points that they may benefit from when they shop with you over and over, and how they can use those points. So these are things that you think about when you think about automation. You think about enabling and automating the entire customer journey from lead to loyalty, right? And there are many different tools that can be used to achieve marketing automation. Here are some examples of some of the systems and tools that you can use. I've heard me mention maybe a few of them earlier, but we're going to go a little bit deeper in each one. So you heard me mention digital advertising. So at the times people think about advertising online, they think about creating a social media flyer, they post it, and they've told persons about what this has to offer. No. For the business who has 10,000, 100,000, 500,000 followers on social media, that may be good enough for you because you already have a captive audience who is already tuned into what you have to offer and can goodbye based on what it is that they see you post. But a business who has 500 followers cannot rely on just posting a flyer on their page to generate sufficient leads for their business, especially if you're expecting 1 out of every 10 persons to actually visit the website or to actually express interest or even just to be curious about what you have to offer. You understand? If you have 500 followers and 1 out of 10, just curious, that's 50 curious persons. And then maybe another 1 out of 10 actually express interest to buy. That's 5 persons. And when you reach that, when you look at the math, you see that easily. That is not the way to go for a company who doesn't have a lot of followers online. So digital advertising is what is also called programmatic advertising. And what that does is that allows you to set up a campaign in a system that sends out this message and keep it running and circulating for a period of time, right? As part of the automation, you want to be able to go in and make tweaks. So you set up a schedule on your side for when you go in and make tweaks to this automation. It can be done on a campaign basis where if you're on a campaign for, let's say, 8 weeks or 12 weeks, you may want to check it weekly. But you have some campaigns that are running for the entire year, non-stop. Maybe just switching out the content every 3 months or so. For those, you may want to check them monthly and make tweaks and so forth, At the end of the day, all of these marketing automation starts there for me. You know, same thing with SMS and email. You're able to program when these things go out instead of having to send it now. So you can write 10 emails today, put them up in the system and schedule them to go for the next 10 months if you want to. Same thing with SMS, right? These are programmatic ways of engaging customers. So you find that you do your manual work in blocks or in bulk. You put them up, you set them up, and you just let them run, you know? So digital advertising is very powerful in enabling a company to always be on where their marketing is concerned, right? Never drops, never falls, rain or shine, earthquake or thunder. It does not matter what is happening geographically, as long as you have money on that card to keep the ads running, it will run. And if Facebook goes down for a day, it comes up tomorrow, it continues running. Nothing stops continuity of those ads from running, either the systems breaking, right? And if that's their main source of revenue, it won't be broken for long. I can tell you that much. All right. So when you think about marketing automation, start with your lead generation process through advertising. Then you look at your website landing page, and this is why, you know, we may talk about different tactics for getting online and different ways so you can scale online. We've mentioned, you know, using Instagram and all these other tools, but at the end of the day, Instagram does not facilitate much automation. Only where I've seen Instagram facilitate automation is in autoresponders on their messages, or maybe using bots to respond to their messages. And with that, you can maybe drop a link to a website, to a landing page for persons to learn more when they message you. And that's a form of automation as well. But outside of that, you're very limited in scope, you know, what you can do with automation. So I always encourage persons to have a website landing page. With that, you can create an experience or design any journey that you want the customer to take upon landing on your website and execute it automatically. When you build a website, when you build a landing page, it sits there in that state, ready and waiting to receive traffic. It's just like a gate man in a government office, in a security at a post. He's just sitting there waiting for someone to ask, where do I need to go to get XYZ? And it drives that traffic in that particular area. That's kind of how a landing page works. And that's why it's important to have one as part of your e-commerce setup, right? Customer sign up and purchase pages as well are other areas that help to automate the marketing process, because at the end of the day, guys, you know, as much as you can generate it, and this is the issue that a lot of marketers face. They know very well how to make noise. They know very well how to attract attention. But what happens after attention has been attracted? Where do the leads go? What is being done with them? You understand? So they will come back and they will tell you these nice terms about engagement with posts and all these things, but I can't use engagement to pay my bills. So I have to show them where the sales, where the results are coming from. You understand? And that's why we have to be focused, guys, on, you know, how we use automation to drive these results. So you normally have a landing page. A landing page would then probably send it to some type of product page or some type of sign-up form for you to either sign up or make a purchase, right? And it's important to understand the different steps in the journey so that you know how they are connected, right? So that you know how they are connected. I want to share on screen, let me see if I can find a copy of one. Right. This is an example of what a solution that I've created for my customers. It's called a digital selling system, right? And what you will notice here is that these are some of the things that we typically tend to set up when we are structuring a business to be able to execute their deliverables in a seamless or automated way, right? So we typically look at a digitization process a monetization process, and an optimization process, right? Digitization looks like creating a landing page, having some type of technical solution design, setting up the interfaces to match that design, including payments as part of that. Then look at how the business is launched, and how processes and information is documented to support administrative activities that need to happen. Now, for larger businesses, they will automatically want to integrate their online sales system into their offline system. So like a QuickBooks system, a Peachtree, whatever ERP solution that exists out there for persons to use regularly. They want to be able to consolidate and reconcile all the sales online into one platform, right? And then you start looking at marketing, because that will just cover the digitization process. Then you start looking at marketing. You want to look at your customer journey blueprint and how you can, monetize that. Set up your marketing automation, set up the lead generation and nurturing campaigns, and then set up your loyalty and referral programs. And typically, when we do this, the aim here is to look at, all right, how do we automate all of these? Because nobody wants to be sitting and turning the wheels if you can get it manually, if you can get it done automatically. You understand? So this is a typical journey that we take customers through, and we normally try to execute it over like a 3-year period. So when us as small business decide, hey, want to move online, I want to move online now, we have to be very careful about our own expectations for what it takes to move online. I'm not going to tell that you have to take 3 years to get it done, because you have simpler versions, simpler ways of getting this done. But this is specifically for large organizations who are dealing with a different type of problem. For you guys, you definitely can achieve it within maybe a 3 to 6 month window. Especially if you started with the approach that we took in the workbook, where you focus on building out your e-commerce approach by product categories at a time. You understand? So having your sign up and purchase page is important for the marketing automation, because after you generate the leads, leads alone don't put food on your table. You have to get them through the door of signing up or making a purchase on your website. All right. So be very clear about that with yourself, with your team members who are working on your website, that you must be able to drive the conversion. Because one of the things about marketing automation is that there are also steps to take when somebody does not buy, and it's a part of the customer journey design. So, all right, somebody made a purchase online. This is what you do with them. Somebody did not make a purchase with them. This is what you do with them. And you have 2 different paths that you bring them through to get that done. All right. Let's talk a little bit about lead magnets and call to actions. Now, the mailing list system is a very powerful system for engaging customers. What do I mean by this? The mailing list system is that pop-up that comes up on the website that offers you that 20% off, that 50% off. It offers you something all the time. It's like a bait, right? It oftentimes offers you some type of value. In exchange, you have to give your name, email address, and sometimes your phone number. Why do persons do this? Because at the end of the day, guys, once you have somebody email and phone number, you have direct access to promote to them. And if you were strategic in making sure that your marketing message is on point, your flyer is going after your target audience, what it should mean is that these are automatically now prospects for your business. So for me, whenever I set up a marketing automation system, I always create that list as the prospect list. Persons who now know about me, are curious about what I have to offer, and may eventually buy. And this is where marketing automation starts to become very powerful, because once you drop them in that mailing list, then you can send them an unlimited amount of emails. daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, until there's no limit. You can do it forever, to be honest, as long as they remain a part of your mailing list. Because people can also unsubscribe from it if they feel like they made a bad decision joining, or this content is not for me, or maybe you're spamming them too much with information, right? So that's also another thing that persons ask me all the time. They know how many emails are too many emails to be sending somebody weekly. My answer to that is always comes down to depends on what you are sending them. If you're giving me 100 USD off every single day, can send me that email for the rest of my life. I want that email. It becomes spam when persons are not interested at all, and we're dropping them this information that they are becoming they're finding annoying, or not interested in it. It's just filling up their inbox and so forth. So we have to be very careful about how we use email to engage customers, because unlike on social media where it's an ad that comes up in your feed, email and text messages go directly to people, which is also why we want that information from them so that we can be more direct. Um, so marketing automation plays a very big role in how you engage persons, and one of the most powerful forms of automation is using email. Actually, I'll say that email was the first form of marketing automation that became very popular and made people realize that, hey, this thing called marketing automation using email can be a thing. B2B businesses use it a lot, right? Use it a lot. Use email specifically a lot. But there are also other types of marketing automation systems that can be used. So for instance, there is a tool called Hootsuite. It's a social media post manager where you can upload the entire content for the entire month or a year, schedule it, and it just goes out on its own, just like how you can schedule email campaigns, right? But the beauty about email campaigns is that there's analytics that come with the email campaigns, and what it will say is that if I send an email to this list of prospects and only 50% opened it, I can tell it to resend that email to the other 50% who didn't open it a day or 2 days later, right? There are actions that you can take. Or somebody clicked on a particular link in the email, there are certain actions that I can tell the email system to do upon the person doing these things. So it can be very intuitive. It can be very can be designed to deliver a very specific type of experience to your customer, depending on how they interact with your business and the technology that you use around that. All right. So that's what your mailing list really is about. And to date, I still feel like email marketing is one of the most powerful forms of marketing automation. Another area of marketing automation I think does very well as well is remarketing, what we call remarketing automation. So what's that? When somebody visits our website, have you ever visited our website before? And that shows that you clicked on and maybe spent so much time reviewing and stuff, but maybe add to cart or maybe you didn't. But you're like, no, not ready to buy this just yet. Come off that website and you're browsing other websites, and this thing is just following you around. It's almost like it's haunting you. It's almost like it's fun saying, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. Every time you reload, every time you visit somewhere, buy me. It's there following you. That is called remarketing automation. And it's something that both Google Display and the social media advertising use to re-engage persons.
145.
Gilbert, we're hearing some chat on your end. I'm gonna ask if you can mute, please. All right. So actually, talk about lead magnets, and then the next powerful thing where marketing automation is concerned are call to actions. Now, for every website, whether you're doing marketing automation or not, call to actions that are very powerful because it gets persons to take the actions that you want them to take when you want them to take it. somebody lands on your homepage, shop now. It brings them automatically to the store because we know they came for shopping, right? Sign up now, book now, get a quote here. You understand? These things tell persons what to do. So this is a part of automating your customer journey as they land on your website. And these are the things, guys, that makes your website sell. I can't tell you how many websites I've been on where we had to redesign it, and it's just jumbled, a lot of information. No, I don't want to be combing through a website with a lot of information just to find out where I can go to buy, where I can go to book, where I can go to pay. You understand? These are things that should be jumping or screaming at me the minute I load the page or the minute I start scrolling. I also don't want one thing to override the other, so I have to be very careful about where we place call to actions and how we use them, right? I'm going to show you some examples of this. Direct marketing and remarketing campaigns, as I mentioned. Direct marketing will be where you send a campaign message or information directly to somebody, as opposed to waiting for them to scroll through a feed. So SMS, email, WhatsApp are three powerful tools that I know a lot of persons use these days to execute direct marketing tactics. Remarketing campaigns, I mentioned it earlier, is when you see the ad following you. You see an ad about the product you just clicked on following you around. And what it does, it uses Google Display network, because Google has a solution where they allow bloggers, content writers, media houses to display ads in specific areas of their websites. So Google has this entire network of websites right across the globe where once somebody is advertising in this space, or you set up an ad to remarket to persons in this space, once the people click on that, choose from that space, and they go on the next website, these Google ad spots on those websites start to reflect the same thing that you were clicking on. So it tracks you by IP address, and that also shows you how connected the website and the information is. We were speaking earlier about security, and you always a question about accepting cookies or not. These are things that enable a site to remarket to you, right? So these are some very powerful things that you need to become aware of. I see some activity in the chat. Let me see if there are any questions. All right, so 2 questions I see here are, what are important points to have on a website landing page? It's a very good question. Let me probably bring up an example of one we just did for TPD here in Jamaica. Explore Jamaica. So we did 2 landing pages for them. And pretty much I would say fairly similar in approach. So the question earlier was, what I'm trying to find out the chat. Right, so the question was, what are the important points to have on a website landing page? Now, a website landing page is like a sales page for your business. It needs to tell people exactly what you do, how you do it, give them reasons to buy by providing things like testimonials, showing them how to sign up or how to buy, video demonstrations of your products. These are things that become very powerful. So in developing this particular website, this is for a training initiative done by the regulatory entity here in Jamaica for tourism-based products. Once you operate in the tourism space, you have to be regulated by these guys, So they have this training that focuses 100% on driving consistency around how the tourism product of Jamaica is sold. Tourists, when they come here and they want to get a landing page for it. So this is what we created. For me, a good landing page starts with a strong brand message, and also something that enables persons to realize off the bat before even scrolling any further exactly what you're offering is, or give them an idea about what you're offering is. You can either give them an idea or create more curiosity about what it is that your offering is, right? So they can scroll and look more. But for me, I always want to get persons into my sales funnel from the very first page. So I like to have a powerful brand message, followed by something that gets them riled up, gets them curious, gets them excited about what this has to offer with a button. In this case, I think the guy said apply now. And I said, no, you're all about providing certification. So let's use the words get certified. And this makes a difference in how persons connect with the information. In this case, again, give some information about the entity, Team Jamaica is the example here. It's the overview, mission, vision. Again, call to action, get certified. We're not going to leave the chance for it to get certified. And these are some historical videos us talking about, what it was like when this thing was started. And it will showcase quickly some ideas of what is covered in each training, what are different training programs, what are different levels, what's included, information about the trainers here, how to apply, success stories, which are really like testimonials, frequently asked questions, and of course, contact information. Similarly here for Export Jamaica, this was again an app that was created for tourists to have in the palm of their hands all the things they could do in the country, right? We came and we built a landing page for this again, because you have to use landing pages to promote a lot of these apps online, right? People want to know what it's about before they go ahead, download and set up. So in this case, again, they have some information about the product, why you should use it, why features of the product. Again, just reminding persons about the purpose in the palm of your hands, how to get started, frequently asked questions, get it known, right? So at the end of the day, guys, the reality is that there's no one way to approach a landing page. However, what you must ensure your landing page does is sell your product or service to every single person who goes there by, first and foremost, positioning your business. Secondly, giving them reasons to choose you, giving them reasons to buy, giving them reasons to get started. All right. So I hope that adequately answered that question, but it was a good one. It was a good one. I'm trying to get the. I'm just trying to get the chat back up. All right, so I see here Moses saying Streak is a good plugin for emails. I integrate it with my Gmail Streak email extension. Moses, do you want to tell us a little bit more about this plugin? I don't know anything about it. Could you unmute and tell us a little bit more about this Streak plugin if you're here, man?
Okay, all right, Moses here. So streak.com. So it's a plugin with Gmail. It have a free version, or what we would say freemium, and it has a paid version. So I can go into Gmail and do a maximum, I think it's 500 emails per day, and I can send that out, and it will give me the amount of views and the location. The location on the free version, you might say unknown.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a minimum amount of tracking data or related data from it.
Okay, so this is like an email marketing. So it's like an email marketing tool that connects to your Gmail.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. More like an extension.
Right, I understand.
An extension.
Allows to get more out of
okay.
It. But it focuses on in running marketing campaigns, which I know a lot of persons want to be able to do. They don't want to send emails one by one. They don't want to also send it in a group, so everybody's gonna get it. You understand? So this is actually not bad. But one tool that I want to talk about specifically especially since we're talking so much about WordPress and what WordPress offers, where email marketing automation is concerned, is MailPoet. So MailChimp is the world's largest email marketing tool for business, period. Largest globally, MailChimp, right? But MailPoet is WordPress's largest email marketing tool for WordPress. And why is it important? Because we're encouraging persons to use this platform that gives you greater access to the financial industry here in Jamaica at a reasonable rate. Now, when you're ready to start running campaigns, I find that MailPoet does a better job of doing the things that are e-commerce focused. So, while MailChimp is a email marketing tool that allows to run campaigns of different natures, MailPoet is related to website sales and website promotions. So because that, you find that MailPoet gives you a lot more for free, or a lot more features at a reduced cost because of what it is built for. So for instance, things like abandoned carts campaigns, where once your mouse starts moving towards that X sign, automatically a pop-up comes up to re-engage you. Normally, every other campaign marketing campaign system that I've seen charges for this solution, but MailPoet offers it for free, right? So that's an automation. Another example also of automation is that you can use, because in this case, what will happen is that you are positioning something to re-engage a person, keep the person on the page longer, to get them to choose you, and you can bring them down a different path than the person who landed on your website and wanted more information right away. All right. I see another question coming in. Oh, Tanya is also mentioned email octopus as another solution. Tanya, you want to expound on what email octopus is? I always like to hear about these solutions now, because I've found that in helping small businesses, these guys look far, wide, and deep, and they come up with they find some solutions that are affordable and are also simpler to use than many other platforms, So you find that, it does exactly what you need and no more, whilst others that do a lot more. Sometimes it's complicated to set them up to do just what you need, So Mitzi, you wanna just expound on oh, it's not Mitzi, it was Tanya. Tanya.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Right, email octopus. I have been using it for almost 1 year now. It's very easy to use. It gives you templates, reports, campaign, and you get up to 2,500 emails person subscribers, and you can send up to 10,000 emails for the month. If you want to send more subscribers, then they have other plans. But I find it very, very effective.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks for that. That's actually very competitive, guys, because based on the last time I used, I still have a MailChimp account, but based on my recollection, MailChimp capped its free usage at 2,000 users. They're offering 2,500. For MailPoet caps their free users at 1,000. Or I don't remember how their price stacks up against the others for paid services. The thing for me is getting as much of or all the services, including premium ones, under the free model, so I can at least set the structure from then and then grow into it. That's what I love about MailPoet. But again, people are free to choose whichever ones that they feel like gives them the best bang for buck. But I like MailPoet for that reason. It is built for WordPress. It's built for internet marketing and marketing automation. So you find that it is more intuitive and skewed to that type of operation versus MailChimp, who is built for everything, and then they know how to fit in to these different marketing tools and so forth. All right, so let's talk about some of the different marketing tools that we mentioned earlier. Lead magnet. So that's what a lead magnet would look like. And in this case, we had developed a website. So similar to what Export Jamaica has done, we developed this website for his client who wanted to sell travel services island-wide. And she created to me the first version of what Export Jamaica went on to do, which was the first collection of all available tourism services in Jamaica, you know? So from hotels, but this one was focused on tours. So, you know, whether you're doing zip lining, ATVs, rafting, river tubing, horseback riding, all these different things. She created a catalog of them and was telling them, and you know, I said to her that, you know, why don't you put this into a guide or like a travel guide or like an ebook? And she actually created one. So what she did was to turn that travel guide into a lead magnet. And what that is, it gives you, as I said, it gives you something of great value. But for you to access it, it asks you for at least a name, an email, and sometimes a phone number, right? I recommend that, you know, if you can't get the phone number, get it, because at the end of the day, as I say, having direct access to persons allows to run targeted direct campaigns as opposed to, you know, trying to find persons in social media scrolls, right? So this is what the lead magnet look like, and from this, every time somebody chose to access this guide, it allowed her to grow her database of customers, of prospects. Now, what do you do with a database like that? You continue to send them emails, you take them through the journey of getting to know your business, right? So the person fills out this form to access this particular resource. They're dropped into a mailing list, but you know, we're gonna assume that they don't know much about you, or even if they know about it, they may not know some things about it. So you drip them with emails. Probably start with introducing your business, who you are, what you do. Introduce, then you can follow up with some products. Then you can also follow up with, you know, how people have benefited from the use of your products. Examples of how they can use the products, you know, things like that. So people buy online through education. If I don't know about what you sell, I cannot buy it. So using a lead magnet is a way to get persons into the mailing list so that you can get to that position of buying it. Let's give me 1 second, please, guys. 1 second. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Right, so that's what a lead magnet is. A lead magnet is providing something of value. In this case, it was an e-guide. In another case, sometimes people offer like a percentage off, a discount. Sometimes it's maybe a one-on-one consultation. Just something that you know will be of value to your prospective customers. So when you're thinking about building this mailing list so you can drive some marketing automation, think about what would your prospect value? What would they want from you that would make them want to leave this information here, you know? That would be my approach towards it. The greater the value, the more compelling the reason to leave this information in a system like this. But keep in mind as well that, you know, something like this would take some time to be developed, and sometimes you just want to get you want to launch a marketing campaign today, and your mailing list acquisition or growth is a byproduct of that campaign. So sometimes people start with something simple until they can grow it into something bigger. So don't feel like it has to be something, you know, of immense value to get started. Just make it make sense for you. Sometimes you can offer something very simple. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's a coupon code. Sometimes it's a downloadable asset. Sometimes it's access to something, you know, that you can use. Sometimes it can be even just a demo video that you shot on your phone, you know, talking to the person. For instance, I saw a client of mine, 5-minute bookkeeper. I want to show you an example of this particular business. 5-minute bookkeeper. No, this is not it. Right. So this is what this person's landing page looks like. So again, going back to the question earlier about what does a good landing page look like? It's a business that sells Excel templates and are doing very well at it in the US. To entrepreneurs who need to plan and organize their reporting for filing and so forth, right? And this is what her landing page looks like. And right through you will see, show me the demo, right? And what she's saying is that, hey, I've just get a solution. Do you want to see what it looks like? Video says, show me the demo, right? And you see information about them. What are the features? Some of the places that, you know, it has been featured in. I say, I want a sneak peek. It's all going back to the same thing. Show me the video. People sometimes really use different call to actions because, you know, show me the video may not speak to one person, but I want a sneak peek may appeal to that individual, you know. Again, you know, show me behind the scenes, that different type of call to action. Here sharing information, and here she's sharing testimonials and, you know, share information about her thing. Take me to the demo. Again, you know, questions, you know, help me get my books in order. So you notice that there are different call to action that are being littered right through the website, but no matter which one you click, it's all bringing you to the same place, right? So you click on show me the video, right away an email pop-up comes up for you to enter the information to watch the video now. And this is just literally her doing a screen share of going through the Excel document, showing persons how it works so that you can get enough information to buy. Same thing here, I want a sneak peek, same information comes up. You notice? I hope you guys are seeing how this is a very good example of a landing page that is speaking to people on different levels with different languages, different call to action, but it's all bringing you to the same place, right? So in this case, she's using a demo video as her way to get persons into the mailing list, all right? Any questions on this? I hope this is insightful for you guys. You can see clearly what I'm speaking about here. Any questions? Any questions on lead magnets, guys? Lead magnet is one of the most powerful ways to grow your mailing list. It's one of the most powerful ways to generate prospects for your business. Anybody have examples of using anything like this in their business? Has it worked for you? All right, let's move on. All right, so here we talk about the call to action. So a while ago, again, you saw a clear example of what that looked like. At the end of the day, guys, call to actions get persons to take actions. And when you understand your customer journey and what it takes to manage persons as they go through that customer journey, you realize how important it is for your call to actions to speak to the desirable action that you want persons to take, right? So litter your website with call to actions. In some cases, it may be a shop now, it may be a buy now. Sometimes it's get a consultation. Sometimes it's speak to an agent. They can be very different types of call to actions depending on what you want. But if you want to automate your marketing, when you land persons on your website or on your landing page, they must know how to get to where you want them to go very easily. And they should be able to get that information from the first time the page loads and even while you're scrolling through the page, right? And this is why, for instance, you'll notice that somewhere like 5 Minute Bookkeeper does not put a phone number, email, or any other form of contact information on the page. You notice this, guys? It is nowhere on the page. You cannot take up the phone and call these people. The only way to get this information is to go through this process, and this is very deliberate, right? This is especially important for solopreneurs, persons who have limited teams, and you can't afford to have people just dealing with queries. I was yesterday, I was on a call with a client yesterday, and you know, she's in the financial space of doing micro loans, and she got into party loans. So like when Chris Brown came to Jamaica, when Burna Boy came to Jamaica, you know, they had things like view index for like 1.5 million Jamaican dollars. That would be like 10,000 USD ticket prices. And you know, the person offered loans for parties. And she's been doing this for quite some time now, because even when they have this thing called ATI weekend here in Jamaica, it's a big party weekend. I think they may have been doing loans from as far as then. But she said that they got so much, they were getting like 1,000 inquiries per week. It was a lot. It was overwhelming, and their team was just not able to satisfy they were just not able to manage that volume of persons. So they missed out on persons who would have been really serious about buying, because they were stretched so thin, just trying to respond to queries from persons who just wanted information. And it becomes very important in marketing automation, because at the end of the day, what you want to do is to get the persons who want to buy from you into your sales funnel, have them purchase or do business with you in the way that you want to. Another example is that she said that she kept getting the demographic of customers that is the worst demographic for her business. So you may have get customers now, guys, and the customer is not your ideal customer, because the customer come with too much headache, and you want to get less of those customers. In marketing automation, you have to get it right. You understand? So you have to get the message right. You have to get the look and feel right, so that you appeal to the demographic of persons who you really want to service. And then use these tools as qualification tools to weed out those who you don't want, and to allow those who you want to find you in an easy and seamless way. You understand? So I have to be very, very clear about this, guys, when we're executing it, because you can end up setting up marketing automation that does not give you the able to meet the objective that you intend to meet. All right. Again, another example of call to action. So this was my old business, Mobile Edge Solutions, and here we have two call to action. Go ahead.
Do you not
Yes,
hear?
I can listen it. Sorry.
You're not calling your man, I know about us.
All right, Sandra.
Okay.
I think
Wait,
your mic is
okay.
muted. Thanks, Sandra. Right, so this is another example of call to actions. In this case, we kind of have two. You'll notice that they get a free consultation now. This stronger one, they have pricing up here. Now, the reason why we have pricing is that what we did was realize that everybody who wanted to do business with us, once they identify us as a solution provider of choice, they wanted to know pricing. So we created this pricing button and ensure it was a sticky header, meaning that no matter where you scroll on the page, you would always see that section ready and waiting for you to click on it. And by having these things in place, it helps optimize the rate of expression of interest that came to us. And if we don't have these things in place, guys, we can't automate, right? If somebody have to pick up the phone to call it to find out, how do I get more? How do I learn more? How do I sign up? How do I buy? Then your process is not fully automated. It's still creating gaps within the process that require manual support. All right. Any questions before we move to the next topic of centralizing operations. Are we clear here, guys? Everybody understand? No questions? All right, let us press on.
Go over again.
Go ahead, Sylvester.
Go over again. I guess but I wasn't here for the session. I'm doing a course at community college, and today is holiday in Barbados. That's why I could come on today. But so I'm trying to catch up with stuff. So explain that again.
You know, you get the recording, Sylvester.
Yeah, we couldn't go over all that again.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You will get the recording already.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, man, no problem. All right, centralizing operations.
But before you go on, Leighton, there's a question there from Joan that says, what is the actual difference between call to action and lead magnets?
All right, that's a good question. So in this case, a call to action would a call to action is really it's normally in the form of a button, it's normally in the form of a bold text that incentivizes the person to take a particular action. Shop now is a popular call to action that we see that gets persons to move further within the buying journey. It allows them to easily find what they're looking for, what's the natural next step upon landing on the page, right? So that's the action that you want persons to take. You want them to book a consultation, you want them to shop now, you want them to sign up here, things like that. So this automatically brings you or redirects you to another page for you to take those actions. In the case of a lead magnet is a tool that enables you to actually generate more leads for your business. So in the case of a lead magnet, normally a lead magnet is a tool, an asset, an extension of a call to action that gives the person something now in return for them signing up to becoming a lead. That's the main difference. The call to action really is about, moving that person along your customer journey to take the action that you desire, whilst a lead magnet offers the customer or the prospect something in return for their information. Now, you may use a call to action to drive more sales on your website now, whilst you may use a lead magnet to generate more leads so that you can nurture them to get sales later. So you can use both a call to action and a lead magnet on a website at the same time because they provide two different functions. The call to action is going to drive the desirable action now that you want persons to take, but the lead magnet is always about getting persons into your mailing list so that you can promote your products and services to them for sale at a later date. It's also very important to execute a lead magnet type of setup because most customers won't buy from you the very first time they land on your website, right? But you don't want to wait on them to have to find you back or to have to consider you on their own time. You want to be able to remain top of mind for them when they come to you. So, all right, I came on your website today and you offer me something I think I need. All right, I fill it out. And because that, you start dripping my campaigns. So whenever I need that thing again, the first person I'm going to think about is you. Because you've been constantly communicating with me and building a relationship with me using email marketing. And that's what a lead magnet empowers the ability to collect information on an individual and nurture that relationship so that they become a customer, right? Doesn't work every time, but it works a lot of times over time. Whilst your call to action is when somebody is already on your website. What do you want them to do? I want you to shop now. I want you to book a consultation because I know that I can only sell to you after you've been consulted with. It may also be my way of qualifying my customer. But if you're not willing to do a consultation, you're not taking the business serious enough. So I shouldn't be taking it serious enough as well. I don't want to waste 30 minutes of my day talking to somebody who's not serious enough. So if you can't book that, go through that process, then that's also a qualifying step. Okay, so those are the main differences between both of them. Call to action drives you to a particular area, a website, or calls you to take a desirable action, whilst your lead magnet incentivizes you to leave your information in exchange for something of value so that the customer can nurture you to becoming a customer of theirs. The business can do that. All right. So I hope that was very clear. Let me know if your question was answered. This is Joanne.
Hello. Hi, can I speak?
Sure, go ahead.
So what automation would you recommend for putting like a shop now or buy now button? Would that be a MailChimp or would that be part of the website?
That would be part of the website. So I would not seek to, because buy now should bring it to your shop page. That's the normal link. So I normally backlink that button to my shop page. Buy now, so person lands it. So think about it, John, right? You're promoting 20% off and you're driving person to your main website page because you want to educate them a little bit about who you are before they start buying, right? They land on your website and I say, all right, yeah, man, these guys sell nice jewelry and thing, right? But where do I go to buy what I want to shop now? Brings me now to the shopping page, and that's where I go to take that action. And maybe on the shop now page, or maybe on the checkout page, I may have a pop-up to say, hey, join our exclusive shopping club for discounts and tips and blah, 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 blah. You understand? And that is where now I get you into my mailing list. But once I want you to buy now, then you want to have that button that brings them further along the journey. You don't want to wait until they feel like getting over there. I don't want them to also be scrolling through your entire website trying to figure out how they get there. Remember as well, guys, that these days, whilst when we are on the website, look at this website, for example. Whilst on this website, right away, I'm seeing a menu saying home, shop, style, right? When I'm on mobile, I don't see a menu unless I click that hamburger sign on the left or on the right that opens up the menu. You understand? So if I don't have clear call to actions to shop now or to go to the part of the website where I want to get to, then you're going to have to scroll around the website to find how to get there, which for most persons will become frustrating. People have less and less attention, time and attention, give less and less time and attention to websites after landing there. So because of that, you want to be able to tell them where to go to find what they're looking for very easily, very quickly.
Okay, thank you. There's one other question which we might be talking about later, but
go ahead.
When you get to a cart and you have, so when you sometimes when you go on like a hotel booking, say like Expedia or booking.com, and you'll be looking at properties and it'll say two other people are looking at this property. Or is that something that you're going to talk about that we could do on our finish at the cart stage?
I didn't have it on my list, but I'm glad that you brought it up. But let's talk about that now, because that's something that we actually executed a few years ago. So in Jamaica, we did the first online sweepstake platform that was approved by the Betting, Gaming and Lottery Commission here in Jamaica. A guy called Mr. Motivator out of England was giving away property with a house, zip lines, paintball courses, and a couple acres of land was attached to it. The total value was about 3.4 million US or something like that. I think he wanted to sell the property, but he wanted to sell it through a raffle. right? Where persons could actually go online and purchase a $50 ticket for the chance of winning this grand thing, you know? And that's one of the things that we did do on the website. We created a tool that showcased persons buying the product and even what they were saying about it when they bought it. So for example, you would be on that website, on the product page, on the ticket page, or on the checkout page, and you would see that Tom from Connecticut just bought a ticket. You'll see that John from Jamaica just bought 2 tickets. You'll see that Jane from England just bought 5 tickets, right? Or it may say that 2 more persons are considering this product, and maybe let's say, for instance, let's use this. It's a very cheeky way of getting persons to buy no, right? So let's say, for instance, you put that particular product on the stock levels, just say that only 2 of these are left, right? And on that particular page, they say that, hey, have 10 persons reviewing this product now. Now, if you see that message that says, guys, we only have 2 left, and there are 10 persons reviewing, you're gonna think 3, 4, 5 times before coming off that page if you really want it. You understand? Because you're saying, boy, if 10 persons are accessing this and there are only 2 left, then let me grab it now. Or let's say we're not worried about 2 being left, but will they still have my size by the time I come back? Let's say it's a shoe, let's say it's a shirt, something that comes in a particular size. Then you may want to be able to do this. So there are plugins that do this, and the reality is that there's not a soul on the website looking at any product now. This is just a tactics, a marketing ploy, and there are solutions that that give that effect that, you know, other persons are currently reviewing this product that you are so interested in, and there's a chance that you may miss out. So you should buy now, you know. And these are things that you can set up on your website. It was a plugin that we installed for that particular competition, and it worked very well because right away it gave the illusion that persons were actually buying tickets. No, persons were buying tickets, but when they said John from Connecticut bought a ticket, that was just the system playing around with people. But that's definitely a good example of an additional way to automate, you know, or to increase buying interest when you're selling your products and services on your website. Was that clear for you? Yeah,
Yes,
man,
thank you. That was really, really, really good. Thanks.
Yeah, man, not a problem. And these are some of the innovative things, guys. You see, what I love about e-commerce and what we're doing here in the Caribbean is that you can always look at what is being done in the more competitive spaces to see, all right, if I add this to my execution, you know, it will have a similar effect. We don't need to necessarily invent anything from scratch, because these types of tools are not being used a lot locally in your respective country. You may see them a lot on you know, American or European or Chinese based websites where there's very high traffic and, you know, it's very competitive. You may jump from one website to a next who sells similar things because, you know, again, it's very competitive. But in the Caribbean, we're just not as competitive online as we are offline. And, you know, this is definitely a way to stand out, to drive more interest. Having things like automatic inventory notifications, again, it helps to automate the buying process by encouraging the person to buy now. If I have 2 left, I've been on I like to buy a lot online. I was even mentioning to a business partner recently that Amazon is competing with the nearest shopping district, which is Halfway Tree. And nobody wants to go down to Halfway Tree, walk into stores, evaluate products just to find out, oh, they don't have what I want anymore. No, those days are long gone. So everybody is now moving online, and people want to figure out, you know, how can I get what I want online without, you know, with low risk, and trying to figure out how to make it work for me. So these tools, these tactics, having, you know, your low inventory counts does make a difference. And it has gotten me to buy before. I see a shoe, I know I want these shoes, I know I have the money, but sometimes we just don't want to make the decision today. We still will make the decision tomorrow or next month. We just don't feel like make it today. But if we see that, hey, if you wait till tomorrow, you know, you might not have it still in stock, you know, then, you know, you're definitely gonna buy it today because you don't want to have that remorse of not getting it and then have to settle for something of less quality or something that satisfies you less, right? So having these low stock alerts, having these tools that tells persons that, you know, an individual is purchasing over here, over there, you know, it makes it seem like this thing is on fire, especially if you're having like a sale, period with a sale. If you're having a sale, it makes it seem as if things are flying off the shelf. Things are flying out of your storerooms, right? Because persons are buying. It's hot bread, you know? And that's how people see it when they set up these types of solutions on your platforms. And this, again, guys, is the reason for getting a website, a landing page, over only using an Instagram page. You can't get these things on a social media platform, right? All right, so let's get into centralizing operations. All right, now, with automation, you can centralize operations so that you can manage all systems, networks, and data centers from a single system or a few centralized systems. Often you can run many of your systems unattended and consolidate your stock operations at a single location. Guys, centralizing of operations is key to optimal performance. What do I mean by this? It is cheaper to expand your business online, to go after different customers in different geographical areas, than it is to set up a physical store in that area. After persons have realized this, and what they're doing now is that persons are consolidating their products into one particular store location and using that store location as a warehousing facility. What that does, it allows them to keep all their inventory in one space and ship from that space while promoting elsewhere. But there are also those persons who have multiple locations, and they have to be at these multiple locations because that is how persons access their products. So, for example, you will notice that certain types of restaurants are only located in places where there's high foot traffic. In Jamaica, it is very normal for you to see fast food restaurants in walking in foot traffic location. If it doesn't have foot traffic, oftentimes the restaurant doesn't do well unless maybe it has a drive-through, right? So that's very important for these guys. Now imagine you're running a business where you have a location in every parish. Now some of us have many parishes, some of us have maybe a few. But say you have a business running in multiple parishes and your systems are not connected so that you can go online and see everything at a snapshot. It requires a very extensive and elaborate reconciliation process in the back end to just report into management what is happening in terms of stock, in terms of sales, in terms of customers, in terms of staff. Centralizing operations is the key to expanding and scaling any business beyond an individual or a subset, a small group of persons. In COVID, when COVID hit, the reason why my business was not severely impacted was because we were already online. We were already doing everything online. Like we already emulated the type of business that we wanted, the type of services that we wanted customers to buy from us. So for us, COVID now became a very stressful period where we were overworked, and probably underpaid. Because we didn't have money to spend, so you had to drop your rates and so forth. Either way, right, is that our operations were not hampered any at all because of the centralization of systems. And this, for me, is a very important topic from a performance perspective, because I'm going to give another example. In my business history, I started out selling an SMS software that had to be installed on computers manually, had to plug in a dongle, a modem with a SIM card inside to send the messages. When we migrated to sending messages online, we didn't have to deal with the dongles anymore because we had a secure portal to send the messages through, but we still had to install the software on the physical computers. This thing had me driving across Jamaica like every week, at least once a week. I had to drive to a customer, and sometimes I drive maybe 1 hour, in other cases, maybe 3 to 4 hours, right? Those drives kill a day. You see, the minute we went software, fully online, SMS connection, fully online, is the minute I stopped driving all over the place. So much so that even now, I am timid in venturing into any service that requires me to be at a physical location to do business, because over the last week I had to travel to the United States, and this did not impact my work much. I was able to get on to my meetings in the mornings. I was able to see all my accounting. I was able to see the status of all my systems because everything is online, guys. As entrepreneurs, one of the things that we want is peace of mind. When you hand over your business to an admin person to collect monies and do reports, you want to be able to see that it's being done properly. You want to be able to spot mistakes early. You want to know if somebody is robbing you or taking you for a fool from early. Only through centralizing operations will you be able to get on top of these things. So the benefits of centralization here is that you're cost efficient because you're not running multiple versions of the same application in many places. Now, just our online tool that everybody is using. I know you have multiple users instead of multiple instances of the same system. You have better command over everything because you're able to see everything at a 360 view. Chances are, whichever application you're using has an administrative view different from a regular user view, which allows you to see everything that's going on right across the board, right? Enhances the quality of work as well. So in this case, it is no longer about spending hours at the job, but what are you doing while at the job? You're able to quantify persons' work. If somebody was supposed to call 10 persons, you're able to see in a CRM system that the person actually called was 10 persons and what the outcome of those calls were, right? Uniformity in action as well. You're able to deliver one consistent way of doing things right across the board when you have centralized operations. Why? You catch things faster. The accounting person will see that an entry was logged incorrectly and quickly get that person to understand the correct way of doing things. I remember again when we were doing a promotion for High Pro here in Jamaica, where they were giving away a pickup truck to farmers. One of the greatest things about what we enable them to do was to centralize. Because when farmers threw out their bags of feed and saw the coupon code to enter the competition, they would normally have to drop this in a drop box at some farm store, and then persons drive around the entire country and pick up all these boxes and put them into this big barrel to spin it like a raft, spin it and pick out a ticket out of it, right? So one, it gave the marketing team a lot of physical work to do to drive to these locations and pick them up. Two, the marketing team was blind in the number of persons who entered the information, who entered the promotion and would not know the final count until the promotion had ended. Three, they were not able to react to the success or failure of the promotion while it is being run. So when we actually converted the method of entry to texting in those coupon numbers, every day the marketing manager will look at his numbers and say, all right, thing is looking good. I notice that we're getting a lot of entries from this particular parish. Let's throw in some extra prizes to get people riled up some more. And it worked beautifully. Before day to day, week to week, they could count exactly how many entries they had into their campaign. And it really does. I don't believe they ever went back to that old way of doing things, you know? So it really enables you guys to do a lot more, achieve a lot more. It's great to focus on the vision because everybody can see things from a central level, just like when my sales team were using the CRM system and we have a goal set up and we see how everybody is contributing to that goal. Allows people to see everything in one snapshot as opposed to having multiple systems, you know, person at point A can't see what's going on about point B. Point B can't see what's going on about point C. You know, person are operating blindly. Proper coordination, again, it all goes back to more of the same. Because you're able to see everything from a central view, then you're able to make better decisions and make better use of the resources that you're using to drive the business forward. All right. So centralization, guys, is very important. What does centralization look like for a retail business? Most times, it is integrating your accounting system so that you can see how much sale was done today. You can reconcile who needs to get shipped, which products need to get shipped from where, right? It also helps to manage inventory counts. So you don't want to find a case where you have one product of, let's say you're selling shoes. You have one shoes left in this particular SKU. It's showing us one online, but 5 minutes ago, somebody walked into the store and purchased these shoes. So it's no longer available. You've now sold something that you don't have. Creates a very bad experience for your customer. So, you know, centralizing operation in that way of synchronizing all systems together so that you can see everything from a high level makes a big difference in how you actually activate and execute your business model. All right. Any questions on the centralization of operations? Any challenges that persons have faced because their operations were not centralized? None? All right, let's continue. Let's continue to automating key processes. All right, so as part of centralizing operations, typically you would get into some amount of automation of key processes. Now, when you look into automate key processes, you look at the ones that have the biggest impact on your business, right? So in one instance, it may be a booking process. In another, it could be an accounting process. In another, could be a sign-up process, right? What are the processes that are key to your operations that, you know, you must share information with other persons? You must do things in a particular way. So, for example, even yesterday, a client of ours realized that they were handicapped because they were not getting the administrative emails. Now, in their case, they had an administrator email set up, but it was only going to one email. However, a whole team of individuals needed to see those emails and, you know, be able to properly run the business and run and do their business and do their checks and so forth. And what we had to do was to create a group email that was a forwarding mail address and have every email sent to that group email, a forwarding email, and then after it is received by the forwarding email, it is dispersed to all of the respective persons who need to see what is going on. As simple as that, right? So that's one example of how you can automate key processes. Sometimes it's just sharing information. Sometimes it's just marking something as done or undone. Sometimes it's just marking something as received. Received, right? So these are some key processes that we know persons typically want to be able to automate. Accounting from the perspective of sales logging. A sale came in today, want to be able to log it into the system in a way where sales reps can tamper with it, because one of the things that you want these systems to be able to do is to increase your level of security and peace of mind. As entrepreneurs, we are not, we don't come into entrepreneurship to give ourselves a 9 to 5, which means that our daily task should not really be working in the business, but working on the business. However, whilst working on the business, we still need to know what's going on in the business. So automating these processes allow us to know what's going on. It also reduces error on the part of the person who would then be responsible for manually logging these things whenever the report needs to be provided, right? So integrating accounting and including sales logging for online sales with your offline accounting system is very important. Similarly with inventory management, you heard me speak earlier about selling a shoe offline, and then 5 minutes later you're selling the same shoe online, only to find out that, you know, their shoe does not exist, right? So you want to invent when you're looking at automating this accounting process. You really want to integrate your accounting system with your online system to reflect sales information, inventory information, product information, customer information, right? So which customer bought which product, when, where, how, why, what time, you know, things like that are very, very important to automating these key processes, right? Automating your customer management helps you to get more insight onto your customers. You can even, for instance, as well, automate campaigns that go to customers based on the products that they bought, right? So a customer bought an umbrella, we know that the next thing for consideration may be a raincoat, for argument's sake, right? We know females tend to use umbrellas a lot. Raincoat is maybe a man thing. I don't think I've ever seen a female in a raincoat, or probably children would use raincoat, right? But that is a simple example of how you use sales data to even automate selling of other products and services, cross-sell, and so forth, right? Customer service management, you want to be able to provide free answers to frequently asked questions. As simple as it is, think abroad, right? So here we have Team Jamaica. We have frequently asked questions here. Now, I like to put frequently asked questions in the vicinity of your contact information, because that's normally why people want to contact you. They have a question, they want to know more, they want to find out more. But by having frequently asked questions displayed on your website, you have already given the answers to the question the person is going to ask you, right? So this is as simple as this is. This is really automating some elements of your customer support by giving persons this library of information they can either search through or quickly click through to get answers to the questions that you want, questions that you would normally have to pose to an agent. So the question is, do you have suggestions for inventory management above and beyond ShopKeep and Google Sheets? So the same WooCommerce system that we use to build out all e-commerce facilities on WordPress does come with inventory management. So when you're setting up a product, you can turn on inventory management to say, I have 10 versions, 10 of these products. And if you have different SKUs, you have it in blue, red, black, you can say I have 5 in black, 3 in blue, 2 in red, right? And you set it up accordingly. Like that. That's one of the reasons why I like this WordPress solution, because it really thinks about everything. So when somebody goes online and purchases a blue shirt, whilst it deducts from the 10 overall products, it also deducts specifically from the category that says, from a variation that says blue. You understand? So that's how that works. All right. So going back to the customer service support, I was the guys having your frequent asked questions. And sometimes people have a whole page of frequent asked questions. I'm like, boy, I don't believe you should have a page of frequently asked questions. What I believe that you should do is put your frequently asked questions where persons are likely to have those questions. So if it's on a product page, you put it on your product page. If it's on your contact page, the more general ones, you put it on your contact page. If it's about payments, you put it on a page that people are going to make payments. You understand? So I like to put it on frequently asked questions where they are more likely to have these questions and to have a whole page designated just for that. All right. Hope that was clear. Any other questions? I don't like how so quiet today, you know. You guys are too quiet today. But we continue. Okay, so live chats and bots.
Sorry, Leighton. I was trying to make your voice not too because I was on earlier, but you just mentioned a point about could you just mention the last point you made? About make sure, blah blah blah. Just repeat that for me. I think I missed it.
Make sure. Oh, well, what I was really saying, I think was related to the frequently asked questions. I was simply saying that a practice that I see persons do is to have a frequently asked questions page. But I find that persons are likely to have questions about things when they're on a particular page about that thing. So my recommendation is to actually put frequently answers to those frequently asked questions about the things that are on that particular page. So if you're on a product page about loans, people naturally want to know how your loans work, right? Put the answers to those questions on the loan page. I also use the contact page as well. And then I'm going to put it at the top of the contact page because I want you to scroll past these frequently asked questions before you start bombarding the already stretched team. Because I don't know any business who has the perfect staff count or has more staff than they need. So for me, once you have to speak to somebody, then that's kind of cutting into what that person already is tasked to do, right? So,
but you're not suggesting that we're not to have a frequently asked questions page, but you're just saying put the in addition. Are you saying in addition or instead of?
I'm saying instead of actually, you know, you can have a frequently asked questions page, but honestly, I've never gone to a frequently asked questions page when I have a question. You know, I've always tried to get to how do I make contact with these persons because of a question. I don't think about do they have a frequently asked questions page? Let's go over there to see if there's an answer to my question. No, that's not my train of thought. My train of thought is that I have a question, I need to speak to somebody who can answer this question. So I'm going to naturally go to the place that gives me the contact information. And that's why I will put frequently asked questions on the contact page as well. You understand? So you can choose, you can have your frequently asked questions page. I don't tell you not to have it, but I'm simply saying it's more effective when you put these frequently asked questions in spaces that people are likely to have these questions. So if I'm looking at a product that is talking about drilling, it says a drill, and I don't know anything about drill, I may have questions about a part of the drill, and if you're able to provide the answers to those questions there, then I won't have to take up the phone and call your rep to find out how this works. You understand? And that's really the bottom line. The bottom line is to give persons the information they need without them having to pick up the phone and call anybody. At the end of the day, guys, as a part of e-commerce, you want to enable persons to come on your website, buy what they need without ever having to speak to an individual. That's the perfect world that e-commerce is trying to create and help you guys to run your business on, you know? So why wouldn't I want to take advantage of that by providing persons the answer to the question that they need when they're contemplating buying that particular product. You understand?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, man. All right, live chat and bots. So live chat plays a very important role in increasing buying confidence on a website. People believe that when they see a live chat rep on the website, there's somebody that they can talk to get more information. There's somebody that they can talk to if they have any challenges buying. There's somebody they can talk to if it is that maybe they made a buying decision that they want to reverse or want to fix or anything like that. Having live chat these days on your website is becoming even more so now than ever a mark of confidence in your brand that, hey, if I don't understand, if I didn't get it right, if I didn't understand it or interpret it right, there's some people over here who can help me. So for example, recently, I had to fly and I put my wife's, I used the wrong last name for my wife because I thought that she had changed out her other information and documents and so forth. Initially, because of a particular documentation, she couldn't bother change the passport thing. So I put the wrong last name. And I was flying with an airline that offered 2 ways to get in contact with them to rectify this issue. I could call them on the phone, spend an hour and a half waiting on the phone, or I could connect to them by a live chat. No, it was the same hour and a half wait by a live chat, but at least I could easily just leave the laptop open, and then when I hear the chime sound come on, I deal with them. You understand? And that's how the issue got resolved at the end of the day. So live chat, even here in Jamaica, Digicel, JPS, Jamaica Public Service, Jamaica Power Service Company. All these guys have live chat on their websites, and you find that they are better able to manage the live chat from an execution standpoint. And we, as the customer, get a better experience with the live chat. We're not wasting our credits to be on the phone line waiting for someone to pick up. I can't tell you how many times persons have been abandoned because they run out of credit waiting for an agent to come on, right? So live chats are now becoming a major, major role in how you even get persons to buy and make decisions. So for example, a live chat may come up to say, hi, thanks for welcoming our visit our website. If you need any support, please chat to us here. In the interim, here's a link to our product catalog or something like that. You know, it's an automated way to engage customers on your website. A lot of times people have live chat systems on their website and it is just in the live chat state sitting and waiting for persons to engage, where you find out when you have the automatic pop-up that engages them, you find that you get a lot more interaction and also a lot more buying from those customers when they're shopping with you. The issue, however, for small businesses and live chat is that you just don't have the human resource to support it. And if you can't have a live chat agent on it live dedicated to what's going on the website, it is not worth it to go into live chat, because when people message you now, they need to get a response within a couple seconds to a minute. And that's where the bots are coming in. So bots now automatically engage you when you sign on to the system, and they typically give you some options to select. So for example, let's say I'm a Digicel customer and I just paid my bill, but I know I paid it late. I may go onto the live chat to say, all right, I want you guys to know that this payment was made, so you don't put off my service, right? Right now, if you go onto that application, you're going to get a bot greeting you, presenting you with some button option to say, all right, what did you do? What do you need? I paid a postpaid bill. I need fixed up my TV. I have an issue with my internet. You know, these are the options that they give, and based on the selections that you make, it spits out related information to that. And, you know, at some point in time, it will eventually pass you over to a real agent. So the bot does the first leg of the work of providing information to you, helping you to get to where you need to get to in an automated way, and then only hand you over to the agent when more is required, right? Any questions on these two customer service initiatives for automation? Now, one thing that you can also do here to help to automate this process is WhatsApp chat. So with for persons like you who have limited resources and still want to give persons easy access to get support, we typically use a WhatsApp chat icon on there. Now, why does WhatsApp work? WhatsApp works because people don't expect that immediate response. It's okay to respond to a WhatsApp chat within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Here in Jamaica, even up to 24 hours is okay, right? You just want to log it and ensure it's there, and then when I get back to you, they get back to you on it, right? So we encourage persons who want to go the live chat direction, but are still small, to first use the WhatsApp chat, and that will help you to get your feet wet in this particular direction, right? You can even set up automatic responses on your WhatsApp. So for example, this is something we're doing right now. We're giving away some website facilities for free. We set up an automatic response on the WhatsApp chat to say, hi, thank you for connecting with us on WhatsApp. To access this particular tool, sign up here, something like that. So it automatically engage the person as soon as they land in the chat, which then allows you to bring them further along the customer journey whenever an agent needs to connect with them. So right now, my agents only need to connect with them if there are follow-up questions or if they need support in the onboarding process. How quickly should you get back to people on Instagram and Facebook with messages? No, it is because you want, but I will say immediately. If you can respond to someone within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes of them sending you a communication, then you're on the ball with that. Once you start going into, even half an hour, maybe reasonable. Once you start going into hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, a day, you probably lose them by then, because I'm on Instagram now. When I come off, and I can remember, what are the messages person about again? You can go and read it, but it can become tricky the longer you wait. So one of my practices was always, and this is something that is not only for Instagram or Facebook, but just overall business. Once a lead interest comes in, I want my company to respond within 15 minutes of receiving that expression of interest, right? And this is, we don't get a lot of leads, or trying to get a lot of leads from social media. We get a lot of leads from our website. So once persons fill out our lead form, we want our agent to get in touch with them within 10 minutes of them doing so. And when we do that, it always makes a very big impression on people, especially because people oftentimes they hate filling out this form because they feel like nobody's going to contact them, so it's going to be a waste of time. So when you actually respond and respond promptly, it puts you in a very favorable position to do business with them, right? So that's definitely a practice.
Hey, Leighton.
Yes?
Hey, Gilbert. So this is one of the topics we kind of touched on last week in terms of how do you manage your time, your operational time, right? I know if you're a small business and you just have a few customers, maybe you're able to respond immediately. What I ask is that you schedule a certain amount of time throughout the day. Whether you say between 1 and 2, I'm going to respond to these messages, I'm going to respond to emails, so that you don't become overwhelmed. The other thing is, with a lot of these chats, they give you, a lot of these chatbots have some basic responses built into them, or you could load certain responses into them so that the response almost seems immediate. I mean, you have to remember at the end of the day, a lot of the businesses that we're dealing with are micro businesses. There's mom and pops, maybe one person, maybe two. So if you're selling and you're doing a brick and mortar plus online, it becomes burdensome if you don't manage your time well. And then you could just lose control because everything just spirals. So one, either you set aside a certain amount of time to respond, and two, try to find these chats that actually have some sort of an basic AI built into them that you could either load responses or they have their own responses. My 2 cents.
Thanks for that. So the quicker you respond, better for you. Bottom line. And that's why people use bots to, have that initial engagement within seconds of a contact being made, right? All right, let's talk about customer relationship management, which is our last topic today.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, good afternoon. So just a question with regards to the WhatsApp chat option. When we first set that up, linking it to the website, I found that we got a lot of Indian contacts, as in persons from India reaching out. And I won't say that they were necessarily prospective customers. It felt like random messages. A lot of it was just persons sending random voice notes and calling at odd hours. Do you have any idea as to why this happened? Is it how our website was targeting, or was it just, I don't know, like a one-off situation? But we were mostly getting Indian contacts at the time, not from our usual clientele locations.
Okay, so what was the name of your business?
Things Jamaican.
Oh, Things Jamaican, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what were they inquiring about?
Some of it was a little bit hard to understand. I actually had to download a translating app. Sometimes it was just persons sending random messages and sending info about businesses that they have and stuff like that. So it wasn't necessarily about persons reaching out with interest in like a product or anything like that.
Right. Somewhere they were trying to sell you something.
Right.
Right. Good. So, sorry. And that's why I asked the question about, what you were selling, the name and, the nature of the messages. Reality is that depending on what you sell and how you target, you will invite different types of persons to reach out to you. A lot of times my customers come to me saying, Leighton, I get this email about my site being vulnerable and I need to take action. No, what's this about? I'm scared. And I also them to tell them, listen, don't pay attention to that. If it doesn't come from us, chances are it's just a sales pitch by some other company who targets companies who have websites. Once you start getting these Indian guys and these Russian messages coming to you, oftentimes they're trying to sell you on something because they realize that you fit their customer profile, In other instances, sometimes we get the targeting wrong. And persons may reach out to us asking questions about different things. So for example, once upon a time, I would get a lot of questions because we provide our specializations in e-commerce, website development, SMS communication. Once upon a time, when I used to run ads for SMS, I'll get a lot of questions about free chat services, dating chat services, sex chat services. You understand? And I had to really look back at how we were positioning the product, the language that we were using. In a sense, at the end of the day, we had to do our complete 360 on the product positioning, brand message, and all those things, just to ensure when people interacting with our business, they recognize that, hey, this is what we do. In the case of that, I think you were being targeted for sales, and because WhatsApp was the channel that you provided for communication, they sent the communication via WhatsApp. It is normal for us to get spam via email with this type of information, but for some reason, these guys drop it in WhatsApp because they know that the WhatsApp will get a lot more attention than the email. So I suspect that's exactly what happened in your case, Shanika.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's talk about customer relationship management. Which is our last section for today. So customer relationship management is a process in which a business organization administers its interaction with customers, typically using data analysis to study large amounts of information. In this process, CRM systems, same as customer relationship management, systems are normally used for managing all the company's relationships and interactions with customers and potential customers. The goal of a CRM is simple: improve business relationships by helping companies stay connected to customers, streamline processes, and improve profitability. Before setting up a customer relationship system, think about the key things that you need to know about your business. Now, CRM systems come in many different forms, guys. Sometimes people will consider anything that stores customer data as a CRM system. So even like the MailChimp application could be considered a CRM system. The accounting tool QuickBooks could also be considered to have CRM components to their system, right? But a true CRM system really captures your customers' information. It allows you to set up different stages of your pipeline and even your service delivery pipeline, and allow you to be able to know exactly where each customer is in that pipeline. Also, typically comes with automations, enabling you to know, to be able to automate communications to customers based on where they are in these pipelines. Now, a CRM system can be very complicated to set up because there's no one size fits all CRM system for any business. There's no one way to operate. Every business has unique setups, and a CRM system oftentimes is shaped by the processes that you have in our system. So the first recommendation that I'll make to everybody here is that before you venture in setting up any CRM application, write out all of your key processes before you do so. Key processes around sales, what are the steps, what does it take? Key processes around service delivery, what are the steps, what does it take? Who is going to do it? When are they going to do it? Because this is the information you need to put in a CRM system. Because the CRM system can be technical in setting it up. If you are thinking about these things while setting up a CRM system, you'll find that it becomes overwhelming and becomes just too much for you to be thinking about all these different things. And I've gone down that road before, so I can tell you from first hand that learning a system and learning the process at the same time is too much. One thing will color context of the other, because you're thinking of you're thinking about getting the process to adapt to the system when what should happen at the system should adapt to the process. So always have your process defined. Write it out in Excel, write it out in Word, write it down somewhere before you start thinking about a system, because the system needs to adapt to whatever process you have written for your business. You will always fail at a CRM setup if you are bending the process to suit the system's capabilities. There are many systems out there at different price points. Choose the system that best supports processes that you want to execute. On my end, I use an application called Bitrix24 because it gives you the most for free. Gives you the most features for free, gives you the most number of users for free. You know, and once you get into it, then you start realizing, hey, this is really something good, you know. I use it to manage both my sales pipeline and my project pipeline. So it's a good tool that allows you to run a business that has projects and sales under one application. Some CRM systems only cater to sales and marketing, right? And then when you're ready to do your tech, you have to use another system. What I like about Bitrix24 is that you're able to see the entire chain of activities from generating a lead to them becoming a loyal customer in one platform. See a comment or a question in the chat. Let's see what this one is about. I got a charge. Okay, seeing as if. Okay. I don't know what a charger comment is about. Seems somebody was looking for a charger. Anyway, so as I mentioned, you know, I use Bitrix24. I've played around with others before as well. but I find that Bitrix works very well. I've even gone as far as integrating a phone line into the application so that you could record calls as they are being made. So nobody can tell you, say, if you give your sales rep 24 calls to make, 25 calls to make today, you cannot only see 25 calls you mean and what transfer on every single call, you know. That's how granular it gets, very detailed. But because you see, with these applications that are so big and so wide and so vast, some of the times they can be very intimidating to set up. They can be very complex to set up as well. So people sometimes will choose simple applications for these reasons. There's another CRM solution called Zoho CRM, which is pretty good. There's Salesforce, but Salesforce is very expensive. There are many CRM solutions out there, many, right? But you want a CRM solution that integrates very well with the applications that you need to integrate with, and also provides the functions that you need to provide. I want to also introduce this tool called Zapier, especially in this module. Zapier is an automation tool. What Zapier does is it bridges the gap between applications who don't have direct connectivity to other applications. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to ensure that every single lead that comes through Bitrix is downloaded into a Google Sheet. I could use Zapier to integrate Bitrix and Google Sheet to have that output happen. So Zapier is a tool that you want to become very familiar with as it relates to automations. Very, very
Leighton, can you show the tool?
Zapier?
Yeah, or did you show Bitrix?
No, I didn't show Bitrix as yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm jumping back.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna show them quickly what that looks like. But I wanted to talk about first, before setting up your CRM, things to think about. So another thing about who your customers are. I just say, guys, you have to define the process, right? How long have they been a customer? Because if you want to look at things like lifetime sales, how do you define these things, right? What products have they bought, right? So you can set up your products in Bitrix so that you can generate a quotation from Bitrix. So even for instance, right now, what I do is I have my sales rep generate quotes from Bitrix, but I use QuickBooks for my invoices because I don't want to contaminate my sales reporting by having certain type of information that is like I don't want invoices to be generated in QuickBooks that are not closed. I don't want quotations generated in QuickBooks that are not closed as well for reporting purposes. I want to know that when I look in QuickBooks, it is very clean. And for that reason, I make them do all of their sales activity in Bitrix, right? So what products have people bought allows you to actually generate a quotation in Bitrix and set it up based on the products that you set up in Bitrix, right? What sales opportunities exist within your customer base. It allows you to look at which products people buy. If you have a customer journey, you say that, all right, once person buys product A, within 6 months, you're going to need product B. Within 3 months, you're going to need product C. They can actually use this system to map that out and make this very easy and clear for you. You understand? They can do a search of everybody who bought product B or automatically position product C to them, right? How do I manage my customers' interaction to provide good support? Is also another thing that you can do with Bitrix. So it's a very full service system. These are some snapshots that we have of it, which shows exactly what the interface looks like. And if I should log in, is exactly what you're going to see. You're going to see your management of leads, what happens when persons express interest, deals or opportunities that you're working on. You can manage inventory, customer, sales, and analytics, right? But all of this is being managed in the CRM system. So this is what we call our Kanban view, where once somebody, an inbound lead comes in, or outbound lead is contacted. Once they're qualified, we move them over to the qualified section, and then we move them along the journey as is needed, right? And then we have here our tasks and projects. As we mentioned, we also manage projects in Bitrix. So this allows us to have one singular system to tell me everything. So even for instance, my my developers, all my technical resources, they have to do a printout at the end of the month as to how their time was spent. So every single task that they execute, they have to log a time in metrics. Decide to say that this is what this is the work that was done, is how long it took, and even logging expenses against projects can be logged in metrics. So it can be very complicated, guys. We're not going to spend too much time speaking specifically about this CRM system, but what we want to emphasize here is the power of a CRM system. A CRM system enables you to look in one system and know everything what's going on with your customers from a sales perspective. If you have sales targets to meet, your CRM system will enable you, empower you to be able to set those sales goals and see how your company is stacking up against the meeting of those sales goals in a system, right? Any question? I also mentioned Zoho as an example of an alternate solution to your Salesforce, who tends to be much more expensive. And I'm sure there are many more CRM systems out there that you can think of, or I can think of if I think long enough. That can help. But I say we landed on Bitrix because of the reason of how much you get for free, and even though it gives you so much, even when they start charging, it's not prohibitive to get started. All right. Any questions? We have 10 more minutes to go. Do you have any questions?
Hi, this is Leanne.
Yes, Leanne, go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question, but I waited till the end because I don't know if it's related to this topic. But I remember you saying that WordPress is a shared hosting site, correct?
Is a shared hosting site WordPress?
No, WordPress is a shared something site. That's what I'm trying to remember. And then there were different types of private servers or.
No. So WordPress itself is a content management solution. It's really because it was initially positioned as a site for blogging, right? Because it comes with the ability to post content on a blog, pictures, words, pictures, text, videos, of any format. Where hosting is concerned, you have different type of hosting arrangements. Where when you are setting up a website, you have to post the information on the website somewhere. You think about it, the website isn't just sitting in thin air, although we can't see it and touch it. It is on a server somewhere being hosted so that you can see the images, the pictures, and everything that comes up. If it is not hosted, then you're literally going to see a white screen with maybe an error on it, right? So they have different type of hosting arrangements. You have shared server hosting, which is like a big tenement yard, right? Where everybody, share the same yard, but you have a little section reserved for you, but there's no boundary in between where your start and my stuff. So I can easily leave from my side and walk over your part, right? And then you have what you call virtual private server, which is where maybe in the tenement yard they have a fence, a section of your section, but it's still the tenement yard. It's still a big yard you live in, right? So you have a little bit of security. But if a house catch fire, you're also at risk, right? And then you have a private server, a dedicated server, which is where you no longer live in this big yard. You have your own yard for yourself. You have your own piece of land, section of you alone inside there. If fire is next door, unless breeze blow, the fire come over your side, you're not really at threat. You understand? You're pretty insulated by everything external. And if something should come into your yard, then you have to deal with that on your own, and your neighbors are also not necessarily threatened by what's on your section. So that's what that dedicated server would look like. So there are 3 different types of server setups. Shared server, which is where everybody shares the space. Virtual private server where you're sectioned off, and then dedicated server where you alone is on that server. So WordPress on a whole is a content management platform that allows you to upload any type of content to it. What makes it so e-commerce friendly is because there are these e-commerce plugins and applications that persons have added to it, and because it is what we call an open source platform, it is the widest contributed to platforms. So even my developers develop for WordPress, because we will have problems that we need to solve that we don't find anybody else solving on WordPress as yet. So we have to develop it for our own, but we contribute towards the WordPress development by doing that.
Okay, so each one of those servers would cost a different price.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, servers
Okay.
will come at different prices depending on which host provider you choose, and the different packages, server packages do have their respective prices. So for example, it's normal to pay like $10, $20 per month for a shared server setup. But if now, and then if you want to get a virtual private server setup, you're looking at like $60 to $80 per month. For a dedicated server, you're looking at anywhere from $400 to $600-700 per month for a dedicated server. But for normal websites, most normal websites are on shared hosting environments. Majority of them is mainly like banks and applications that use a lot of bandwidth or need a lot of space would be on their own server.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I guess I was confusing like WordPress and hosting sites. So a hosting site is like GoDaddy and stuff like that.
Right. Well, GoDaddy is a registration. Is a registrar of domain names, but they also do provide hosting services. A popular
So like
hosting
Bluehost
service,
is a registrar or a hosting?
GoDaddy is first a registrar who then offered hosting services as a secondary solution.
Okay.
Like Bluehost, most registrars do offer hosting because that's the next natural thing. You buy a domain, you have to host it somewhere. You understand? So these are two primary requirements of every website. So it's a natural fit. Nobody does hosting alone or does domain registration alone. They normally pair the two together to make more money. That's a natural need.
Okay, I understand. My other question was concerning the WhatsApp question that was asked before. Would those be considered bots? And if they're bots or if they're not bots and actual people, is there a way to put in a security system that would also hamper them, as well as changing up, how you market your website and the target words and stuff like that?
It could be people, it could be bots who send those messages. They use bots to send a lot of emails to us. In the case of emails, it's a matter of blocking that email. You can also block from WhatsApp as well. Because as well, you see one thing, you see when you start getting bots filling out information for you and sending to you, normally start getting spammed. It normally compromises the quality of information you have on your customers. So if you were doing a mailing list system and you're using bots to sign up for your mailing list, you find that half your mailing list is nonsense, but you're paying for the full amount and you can't determine easily which one is not the right email versus which one is, So it can become very challenging to deal with them. Overall, what I'd say is as soon as you find them and block them. And you can also use keywords as part of your marketing execution, where somebody has to text a keyword, pass a keyword to a number via WhatsApp, via SMS, via email to be able to access a particular service that you have to offer. Allows to uniquely identify them quickly, and also to do filters. You can do a filter for everybody who takes a particular keyword and then just deal with them and them only. You understand?
Right. Okay, I understand. Because like when I had my blog, I used to get like responses, but people used to also promote their stuff as well now. So I might have a few real people responding to my blog, but there would be like a few other people responding, but also sharing a link to their service. And I know at some point I would what the filter I did was I had to approve the comment first before I could before it shows up on my site. So it will go behind like a wall before it goes over to my site, and it's like, so I'll be able to filter the reel from, but that is like if you're getting multiple, after a while you'll just like it'd be hard to go through each one.
That for me is the ideal way to go about it, because people spam the website with a lot of functions and you don't want that visible below your comment, you know?
Yeah, so
You
but I guess you would have to look around for services that offer, like if you're getting like a lot, because I can't remember the person's name who mentioned it, but it sounds like they're getting a lot because they're also getting calls and stuff like that. And for my business, I want to use WhatsApp Business. So hearing this is a bit concerning. So I was wondering, I guess I'll have to do research to see how to at least put a gate in front of that. I'm not saying that it will stop, but it could, where I could actually filter it out a bit more.
just get into it, man. Where WhatsApp is concerned, just get into it. Once you get into it, you will start getting a feel of it, and you will see what's a threat and what's not, and I have a better idea as to how to figure it out, you know. There are bots as well that persons use to respond to individuals on like social media and so forth. So not all bots are bad bots. You can use bots as well to automatically redirect somebody somewhere if you don't have the manpower to manage, you know, messaging in your social media, stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and a lot of these like WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook have built-in, like you could put frequently asked questions in them and all those different things there as well. So
yeah, right, exactly. You know what I'm talking about, right? Gilbert, is there anything that you want to cover off with? We have 1 minute to the hour. Carib export.
No, not from our side.